The Making of a Scientist is a story of a scientist named Richard H. Ebright. It is an interesting study of how Ebright became a great scientist. So, children, now let us begin with the second half of the chapter. To find the answer of his question, Ebright and other excellent science students together made a device that proved that these spots produced a hormone necessary for the full development of a butterfly from a pupa. With this, Ebright won the first prize of the county science fair and the entry to International Science and Engineering Fair. There, his project won third prize for zoology. He also got a chance to work at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. He continued his work with the monarch pupa as a high school junior, and that led him to win the first prize at the International Science Fair. After winning this prize, he also got a chance to work at the Army laboratory during summers. Then, during his senior year, he tried another experiment in which he grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture and showed that cells would divide and develop into a normal butterfly wings scales provided that they were treated with the hormone from the gold spots. This research of his won the first prize at the international fair, and he spent his summer after graduation doing more research on the subject at the Army Laboratory and the Laboratory of US Department of Agriculture. Then he worked some more on the hormone released from the gold spots during the following summers at the Laboratory of the Agriculture Department. He identified the chemical structure of the hormone using the lab's special equipment. After 1.5 years, Ebright got the idea for his new theory, which was about the cell life. The idea came to him when he was looking at the 10th ray at the X-ray photos of the chemical structure of the hormone. He did not get excited about his discovery as soon as he found it, but came to a realization that his years of study on the insect hormone had solved one of the puzzles of biology. He had solved the mystery of how cells read the blueprint of its DNA. He found that as the DNA is in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity, therefore, it determines the form and function of a cell. Hence, DNA is the blueprint of life. Then Ebright and his roommate made drawings and plastic models for the theory, which showed how it was possible, and later wrote a paper which explained the process. It did not surprise the people who knew him that he graduated from Harvard with highest honors and stood second in his class among 1510 students. He then became a graduate student researcher at the Harvard University and also started doing practical experiments to test his theory. It was expected that if the theory proved to be correct, then it would be a big step towards understanding the complex system of life and also would lead to new ideas for preventing certain types of cancer and other diseases. So, this showed how his research on monarch pupa led him to a theory about cell life. He had been keen in science ever since he started collecting butterflies, but this did not keep him away from his other interest in his life. He was a champion debater, a great public speaker, and a good boat racer, canoeist. He was also an all rounder outdoor sports person, along with being an expert photographer. He was great at capturing nature and scientific subjects. As he was a great student and always used to score good, he used to focus his extra energy on debating and model United Nations clubs. He also used to admire his social studies teacher and an advisor to both clubs, Mr. Richard A. Weller Ebright, thought that his teacher was the right man as he was the one who used to open his mind to new ideas. His teacher was impressed with the fact that how Ebright would give an extra 3-4 hours of efforts at night for the debate research apart from the time that he used to give to his butterfly research and his other interest. He added that he was competitive but not in a bad sense because he did not win to get prizes or for the sake of winning but because he wanted to be the best at whatever he did. So, this is what makes a good scientist. He needs a first rated mind along with curiosity and an added will to win for the right reasons. Since the time Richard's mother got him the book about migration of monarchs, his curiosity towards science had just grown. So children, this was the explanation of the second half. Now let us see the theme of the story. The making of a scientist. It is the story of a scientist named Richard H. Ebright. It is an interesting study of how Ebright became a scientist. After the early death of her husband, Ebright was everything for his mother. He used to get top grades in schools. At a very early age, when he was just in the second standard, he had already collected 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown. The book, The Travels of Monarchton, gave him a thorough knowledge about the monarch butterflies. In the second year of his high school, Ebright began to search an unknown hormone in the gold spots of butterflies. In later years, he discovered how a cell could read the blueprint of its DNA. So this was all about the scientist Richard H. A bride. Children, I hope that you all have enjoyed this story, and hopefully you all have got motivated with the scientist. Thank you.